Friends and comrades, in today's episode of Politically Correct, I would like to share my thoughts and perspectives on a very important subject in Indian politics called caste. The moment you mention caste, intellectually, morally, and philosophically, it evokes derision and rejection. It's a caste, perhaps is a stigma. Someone is born into a particular caste which is not in anyone's control, which is preordained. So, which is not in humans' control, should not be discussed in political discourse and perhaps should not be practiced as a political act. But is that the case? There was a huge controversy recently, it is still on, about the caste census. Some people demanded there should be a caste census and we ought to know what are different segments of people constituting India. But Union government rejected it, saying it is not a part of our constitution. Our constitution deals with citizens irrespective of caste, creed, religion and belief and gender, etc. So we have perfect, absolute equality enshrined in the constitution. That is the ideal. Constitution is an ideal. In most cases, it is also a practical instrument for governance. But many of the provisions in the constitution were ideally inspired. We cannot claim that we have achieved them all. Caste is one of them. Although constitution derecognized caste in our public life, it is evidently existent in all aspects of our life, really. In politics, it plays a big role. There is again a misperception that it is only in the cow belt, mainly in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar and Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, etc. But it is also quite prominent in South. People are conscious of their caste. There is mobilization around caste. Even the appointments are made on a casteist nepotistic basis. So the question is, in politics, as practitioners, can we dismiss, deny and derecognize a reality? Or the other strategy is can we factor this existential reality into our political philosophy and life? I would dare say that caste as an identity is there and should exist. All forms of identities that human beings are attributed to should be allowed to play out. Unlike Marx predicted or prescribed that life is driven by economic factors, so-called economic determinism, that theory failed, as Karl Marx refused to recognize various aspects of life that lend multiple identities to an individual: language, religion, ethnicity, region, profession, caste. These are all identities. So a person, man or woman, could assume more than one identity. But all identities are contextual. So if we take caste as an identity, it has also a context. Perhaps when a particular caste is operating in a social cultural context, there could be cultural exchange within the caste, marriages performed within the caste, what is colloquially called in North India roti-beti relations. That is okay. But when the caste interacts with another identity, let's say a business identity, then caste takes a back seat, because the logic of business is to make it work, earn profit, register growth. These are the principles in business. So if caste contributes to these principles of business, good enough. But if it does not, then caste must be pushed to the background. Likewise, all identities will have their role and they will have their context. And we are all bound by a supra-identity called Indian. And that is our national identity, and that subsumes all other identities. But again, that identity plays in the national stage and international stage, not necessarily in the individual social and cultural life. So one should not be afraid of admitting caste. We use it every day in most walks of our life. So why live in a denial? Why live in a contradiction? I would encourage to absorb caste as long as it lasts. It will have its natural death because its only legitimacy is birth. All other identities can be acquired, can be syncretic, but it is one identity which is decided and defined by birth. That is why it would not stay. So let it have its natural death. Till it has presence in our life, let us accept it, let us include it in our discourse and our action. Thank you.